Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
Joining me from Baroness, John Baisley, here to talk Stone, the 6th studio album. John, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty well today, yes.
Good to hear from you. More importantly, good to hear from you about new music. And if I'm not mistaken, this album actually really started in 2020. Obviously, some crazy stuff has happened in those years that has passed. So maybe kind of walk us through what led to maybe like kind of pushing it back and now where we're at in 2023 with the final release.
We rented an Airbnb about 2 hours outside of New York, 2 hours outside of Philadelphia, where our band could meet and nobody had to drive longer than anybody else. And we built a studio from scratch in a home that was not designed for it. We lived there for a month. And during that month, we took all of this music that we had written individually, and we did that most critical thing to it, which is we played it together. And noon was go time, and we would rehearse, we would jam, we would play. I mean, it was like training for the Olympics. You know, you train all day long, just writing and putting music together and, you know, feeling it out as a band. And during that month, we got all the drums, we got all the bass, and we got many of the guitars, but we didn't give ourselves, we weren't in there for an unlimited amount of time. Then there was a year and a half of sort of figuring out what to write about, because I write from experience that without the experience of living in the real world, I had nothing to write about. So we had to book tours. We booked these tours called Your Baroness tours, which was just kind of an evening with us. And we'd play a 3-hour set. I came home and all of a sudden my voice, I knew how I wanted to use my voice, and all of a sudden words started flowing on paper. So it wasn't until the very end of 2022 when we wrapped up the formal recording. So up until February of 2023, this record spent 2 years as a completely do-it-yourself project. There was never more than 4 people that even put their hands on the recording of this. We engineered it, we recorded it, we produced it, and then we took it earlier this year to get mastered and mixed and mastered. You know, I think as a result, we're really excited about this release, and it was a really exciting experience.
John, you mentioned something in there which I thought was really interesting. And in doing that tour, after having all this music written but no words, and then doing this tour, getting some money back in the pocket and getting those creative juices flowing, and finding that voice, that creative side of you, that writing prowess, after diving deep into the history of Baroness. So is this maybe almost like finding inspiration in old music, maybe music you guys haven't played in a while? Is it like a vintage Baroness record? Is it a mix of everything after pulling inspiration, or finding again that writing voice after playing these older songs?
No, it's an interesting question though. I mean, I think it was more of the fact that every once in a while we would take note of something musical that we used to do that we no longer do and go, okay, that is cool. Maybe that could make a return to our music in the future.
Right.
Because I think the work we did for the Your Baroness tour may bear fruit in future records, you know.
Okay.
But I think with this record, what it did was it gave us kind of a grounding to it. There's something, you know, like a DNA level familiarity that we think our fans will probably recognize. But there's enough fresh ideas on this record that we don't feel like we're just digging in the past, you know. So I think it was sort of what you're asking about. Like, yes, it did give us grounding. It did remind us some of these things that we used to do there that we should be doing again. But more than that, it gave us a sort of confidence with our new record Stone to go, okay, well, we're not just, you know, a bunch of old dogs like using our old tricks. Like we're actually still inventing things.
It's cool that you guys were able to go down that musical path, and now here we are again with Stone. It dropped on the 15th. It's out now, the 6th studio album from Baroness. Do you have maybe a favorite track on the album? Is there one maybe that really speaks to you?
Yeah, I think one that we didn't release as a single. We haven't put a whole lot of focus on yet, but I think that it's one of my favorite songs on the record. I think it's the second to final track or the third to final track. It's called Magnolia on the B side of the record. Yeah. I can't wait to play it live. It's got sort of our like traditional swagger to it. It's, it's a bit long. I guess it's like a cross section of what we've done for 20 years. So that one to me, that one speaks out a lot to me on this record.
I love it, man. I love it. And now you did mention this before. Obviously, this is a self-produced album. You guys got your hands in it. You did everything. You're also a amazing and very accomplished painter. You've done all the album artwork for all of Baroness's records and even for other people. I think Metallica, you've done stuff for other artists, a lot of notable people. The latest album, this is a continuation from previous ones, right? This is part of a bigger picture. Tell us about the album artwork and what you guys are building on, because it's beautiful, of course.
Yeah, thank you. Well, when we started the band, I've always been an artist. I've always been somebody who creates things. That's, I think music and artwork to me kind of come from the same driver, I guess. They different sort of outputs, but I think over the early years of Baroness, really, I used the band as a place to develop a style that would work as a visual artist interested in working with musicians, and that's what So I've done scores and scores of album covers. But I've always, obviously doing a Baroness cover is a different thing. It's a little bit more personal because the music is partially mine as well.
Yeah.
And so I've developed a style. It's, I work predominantly in watercolor and ink, which is not easy. It's not quick. It can't really cover up your mistakes. It's not digital, so you can't work backwards. The way that we made the music for this record was significant in the way that I would make the artwork. Working in permanent media where mistakes are going to be hyper visible for eternity, I sort of just started in the middle. I had a general idea. I always do a ton of prep work. So it's just like, I'll draw for like 2-3 weeks, but then there's all the other elements of the artwork that, like color choices or certain image choices that just felt right at the time. And in the spirit of making this record and just not looking back, the thing goes on the paper, and then there it is for the rest of eternity. And I don't question why, as long as it felt like it came from somewhere honest. I know it's like a total artist answer, but true.
But I love that though, and because I was just going to ask. So when you look at this now in that final artwork, good, bad, indifferent, is there anything you would change with it, or like you said, that's what it came through me, and so that's what it was meant to be?
Yeah, I wouldn't change a thing if I had the option.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Rock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.
I need new music.
This is the JJO Discover New Music Podcast.
What's more cathartic for you, painting or playing? If you can answer that. I know that.
Well, they're different. When I'm finished a painting, it's a very personal sense of accomplishment that I get. When I finish a record, it's the high is a little bit greater because I've done something with a team. And I've done something beautiful with a team, and we've all had to sacrifice. We've all had to submit ideas. We've all had to work. We've all had to give our time, our blood, our sweat, and our tears. So when you go through a process like that with your friends, your bandmates, people who you consider family, there's a deeper reward because you've been part of somebody else's thing as well. And I think it's just different. I know whenever I need to, I've got what I need. I've got what I need in this room to make artwork for the next 50 years of my life. But I can't make a song without my 3 bandmates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think so. It is a bit different. And I love the initial high when we finish it. That is really astounding. But more importantly, when we take this on the road, we can access that feeling every night if we're doing it, if we're doing a good job. And if the crowd's with us, we can make it better night after night. We can improve these songs. So yeah, we're excited. We're stoked. We're hyped. Yeah. Like
I love it, man.
I hope everybody likes the record.
Well, I don't think you have to worry about that. So again, Stone from Baroness out now. Go get it, and then go see them when they're out on the road. You will be treated to a night full of magicalness from John and the crew. Well, now that we got the important stuff out of the way, let's do a quick round of rapid fire. I do this with everyone. There's no answers on this. We're just going to get to know you a little bit better. Let's start.
All right. I'll do my best.
Something easy. Everybody Wang Chung or everybody was Kung Fu fighting?
Wang Chung for sure.
Thank you. Not enough people picked that one. It's a good song.
I love Wang Chung, yeah.
Flintstone Push Pop or Choco Taco?
Choco Taco for sure.
Disco or techno?
Techno. With a little disco though. I know I answered that quick, but
just a little, I kind of think crossover a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Soaked jeans or damp socks?
Oh, soaked jeans for sure.
Would you rather
can't handle damp socks?
No. Honestly, I don't even wear socks anymore if I don't have to. Like, it's just wintertime. I go from slippers to boots and no socks in between. I'm just tired of socks. Just getting in the way. Would you rather see Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
Loch Ness Monster.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
100 duck-sized horses.
Reasoning behind that?
I think just to see what 100 duck-sized horses looks like. I've seen a big bird. I've never seen a teeny horse. So there we go.
I've seen
let alone 100.
That's the best answer I've had so far. I just want to see them.
Yeah.
John, thank you so much for humoring me. More importantly, thank you for taking the time to talk new music. Stone from Baroness out now. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Listen, rate, share, subscribe. Discover new music now at WJJO.com, in the JJO app, or wherever you get your podcasts. Rock has a new interview every Thursday evening between 6 and 7. 94.1 JJO.